What up, y'all? How's it going? Ben Dean here, back with another morning coffee Q&A. This is episode 2. If you haven't seen the first one, you can check that out up here, where I kind of explain what this is all about. But it's basically just a Q&A where I'm drinking coffee. Nothing too crazy. It is Valentine's Day today, and I also have a couple little things of chocolate here. I'm not sure what kind of chocolate this is, but SJ just gave it to me, so thank you, SJ, and happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys. Anyway, back on topic. You guys really seem to enjoy the first episode I did of this series, so I'm really happy about that. Hopefully it's something that I can do for a while because I enjoyed making it, and you guys gave me so many good questions, and I gotta say thank you because I have so many more things I can talk about. Maybe not even in this kind of video, but even in a mukbang, or I can make a whole video out of it. I couldn't pick that many for this week. I only picked a few, but let's just get into it now. Paula Kreinberg asked, what coffee do you like? I like a couple of different kinds of coffees. Let me try this real quick. That's really good. Sorry. I'm not a huge coffee snob, I'll just say right off the bat. I basically like Americano and I like espressos, which I don't drink very often, but I used to drink a lot. Anything else like latte or cappuccino, caramel macchiato, stuff like that, I don't really know what that is even. I like it simple, plain, black. I like the bitterness actually. When I first started drinking coffee in high school, I always put like milk and sugar in there because I wasn't a fan, but over time, I just grew to like the original taste. There isn't any particular brand or coffee shop chain that I like particularly, but as long as it's Americano. Duck Lee, I know I that's not right, sorry about that. But hey Ben, are you sometimes partially thinking in Korean? Since you talk a lot of Korean with your girlfriend, I thought it would kind of influence your way of thinking. Interesting question, and yeah, I do sometimes, but not that often. When I'm with my girlfriend, I tend to think in Korean a lot more because I'm hearing it and I'm speaking in it. So yeah, I will think in Korean a decent amount when I'm with my girlfriend, but when I'm on my own, by myself, or with people who I'm speaking English with, rarely do I ever think in Korean. If it's something that it's a really simple phrase or emotion that I want to think about, if I'm hungry, I'll think like 배고파 instead of I'm hungry or something. But yeah, that's not something that I do a lot. Maybe I do it more than I think, and it's just an unconscious thing, but yeah, I don't think I do it very often. Sometimes I'll have dreams in Korean too, not very often, but sometimes. So yeah, it is a very interesting thing, the way the mind works. It's an enigma, I'll tell you that much. Ryan Jones and Kokorio89 ask, do you and your girlfriend live together now? Actually, a ton of people asked me this question. I just grabbed 2 of them, but there were many of these questions. And the simple answer is no. We don't live together, but I am here a lot. If you've watched my recent mukbangs and videos, they're pretty much all here. Some reasons are kind of obvious. I just like spending time, as much time as I can with SJ and stuff like that. But there's also something that you might not know. Seoul is a very big city, and in some parts, the place where my house is, I can't really get as much food delivered to my house, especially foreign food. Really, the selection is bare bones, and that's something that I really kind of need when I'm filming a lot of my mukbang videos. So the app that I have that I use to find all of this kind of food is only in certain areas, and they have it here. If it wasn't for that app and it wasn't for being here and being able to use it, then yeah, I think I would have a lot less videos, or they wouldn't be as good, or they'd be a lot more repetitive. Even though you guys might be thinking your videos are repetitive, but they'd be a lot worse. Here in Korea, it's not really a thing to move in with your girlfriend before you get married. That's just how it's done here and how it's always been done. There are specific cases where you will see couples living together, but it's definitely a rare thing. It's not like America or other countries, and to be honest, it's not something that I'm a huge fan of, but it is a different culture and I can't really complain about it too much. Also, I am wanting to move You know, I kind of do feel bad about kind of using SJ's house as a filming studio sometimes, but she doesn't really seem to mind too much. But you know, I still would rather have my own space. My contract does end here in a few months. I'm hoping to move to this area. Hopefully I can set up some kind of like legit studio with, you know, lights and everything, and be able to order all the food. You might see a drastic change of scenery here sometime, you know, in the summer or something. Not making any promises, but you know, stick around and I guess we'll find out. Kimchi Mama, that's a nice name. She asked, wish you had a P.O. box to send coffee to. Yeah, that would be cool, but I hear they're really hard to get here in Seoul. Question, how do you unplug, keep your YouTube from being a consuming entity in your life? I love talking about YouTube on YouTube. It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, this is a great question. These days, I think I'm still developing my whole like routine. It's becoming a lot bigger thing in my life lately, and I'm starting to put out a lot more videos, and I want to take it really more seriously. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but these days it really is something that I think about all the time, especially when I'm not filming a video. The days that I'm not uploading, I am just thinking, man, I should be uploading. I should be doing something for YouTube. But it is something that I'm still trying to balance out, I guess. Some things that I do these days to just unplug are, it's not really unplugging, but I'll go on my computer and play a video game or watch a movie or something like that. The thing is, like, the weird thing about it is, usually when I go outside, I'm not filming and I go outside, hang out with my friends or go on a date or just a walk or just go to the mall or whatever with SJ. A lot of times that doesn't really take my mind off of YouTube, because I'm thinking, oh man, I could have vlogged here, or if I vlogged here, that would have been nice. It could have been a good video. So yeah, it's always in the back of my mind. But it's still, yeah, something I'm trying to work out. Ryan A asked, hey, a quick question from another Asian adoptee. Have you ever went through an identity crisis in your teen years while growing up in America? Thanks for the question. Nice question. I wouldn't say identity crisis. I wouldn't use that term. I think that's kind of a heavy term. You know, when I was a teen growing up, I think I had about the normal amount of, you know, teenage angst. Just the same, maybe a tad bit more than other people, but definitely I wouldn't call it a crisis. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like a kind of a bigger problem than what I had. I got an email from someone who grew up in a very similar situation to mine a few months back, and they asked me about, you know, my experiences being in, you know, Korean American adoptee, in growing up in a small town with, you know, pretty much no Asian people, and they went through the same thing. And they said to me, you know, hey man, do you ever feel like sometimes do you forget you're Asian when you were growing up? And I thought about it and I was like, you know what, you're kind of right. There were plenty of times where I just forgot I was Asian. It sounds weird. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror, it's like, oh yeah, I'm Asian. All my friends, they weren't Asian. My parents, looking at them, they were white. My brother was another, I guess, reminder that, you know, it wasn't a completely non-Asian household or whatever, but I guess some people might call that an identity crisis. I personally wouldn't. You could say everyone in high school has kind of an identity crisis, figuring out, you know, who they are. But, you know, when I was about 20 or 21, I think, I did go through some kind of identity crisis, I would say. Before I ever came to Korea, just for vacation, to visit for the first time, when I was in America, I was having some kind of identity crisis for about a month or a few weeks. I was just really, you know, down in the dumps and just wondering, you know, about where I came from and stuff like that. I felt like there was a whole, like a missing piece of the puzzle, and I just really wanted to find that piece. I thought that the only way to do that would be to, you know, come to Korea or, you know, see a picture of my birth family or whatever. So I was really kind of frustrated at that point. But it kind of all went away the first time I visited Korea, and it hasn't really came back since at all. To that feeling, yeah, not at all. So, yeah, I think coming to Korea was definitely one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. done with all the coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Morning Coffee Q&A. I don't know if I'll be doing coffee forever, but I definitely like doing the Q&A part of it. So yeah, one of these days coffee could disappear. I might just be answering your questions, but for now, yeah, I'm enjoying the coffee. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll look at that for next week's video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Maybe I do it more. Maybe I do it more than I think, and it's just an unconscious thing. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the description or the description.